Today, the EU is fining X, previously known as Twitter, for non-compliance with transparency obligations under the Digital Services Act. So what they're doing is they're holding X accountable for deceptive design of its blue mark check, lack of transparency of its advertising repository, and failure to provide access to public data for researchers. You know what that means, guys? That the EU is overstepping their boundaries. All those 3 points. They have fined them 120 million euro. And they've also fined Elon Musk, I believe, 20 million. They are 100% a tyrannical entity, and we need to leave the EU as quick as possible. They're fining X and Elon Musk because it is the only free speech social media platform in the world right now, and they don't want freedom of speech anymore. They want to destroy freedom of speech as we know it.
Today, the Commission has issued a fine of 120 million euro to X for breaching the Digital Services Act. This is the first ever fine under the DSA. X has indeed breached its transparency obligation under the DSA. This includes X's blue checkmark. It deceives users. Anyone can pay to obtain the verified status, and X does not meaningfully verify who is behind it. It also includes X advertising repository, which does not work properly, and X doesn't provide effective data access for researchers. Today's decision has nothing to do with content moderation. It's about transparency provisions for citizens here in the European Union.
100% it's only to do with content moderation. They are lying straight to our faces. I can't believe he actually says at the end, this has nothing to do with content moderation. It has only to do with content moderation. They want to censor the internet. The first thing they talked about was the blue check mark. Of course anybody should be able to pay for a blue check mark. It just increases the amount of visibility you have on your profile. It doesn't do much, guys. It doesn't mean that you have to verify who you are when you're verified profile. It's nothing to do with this sort of verification that everybody is asking about. Nothing at all. The third point is absolutely tyrannical, guys. Failure to provide public access to data for researchers. They want to research and see what's going on behind the scenes at X. And Elon Musk is saying, no, you're not allowed to do that. We are not going to comply with the EU. Could you imagine, guys, it's hilarious, that a man like Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, is trying to be fined and trying to be choked into submission by something like the EU? The EU is absolutely ludicrous, guys. They're crazy. Imagine they're trying to enforce laws on the USA. The USA run the fucking EU, guys. Like, the USA are a superpower. The EU is not. They need to stare at people's business 100%. On top of it, the EU has also given Hungary a 200 million fine plus 1 million euro every single day for refusing to open their borders. And this is the thing, the EU has completely gone tyrannical. I think the EU, we have to leave it, we have to disband it. It has completely destroyed the entire Europe, guys. The EU is the worst entity in the entire world, in my personal opinion, right now. And let's just look at the timeline on how the EU have targeted Elon Musk, specifically because Elon Musk has saved civilization. He's actually saved the Western world and freedom of speech. Nobody else in Europe or the rest of the world actually wants to save free speech apart from Elon Musk and maybe Trump. Everybody else are just completely tyrannical. It says here, June 2023, the EU audited safety systems and flagged weakness in handling hate speech and disinformation. You see, guys, they're trying to censor the internet right off the bat. As soon as he bought X, the EU are trying to handle free speech and censorship. October 2023, the EU issued a warning letter accusing X of spreading misinformation during the Middle Eastern conflict. July 2024, and this is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This is how secret governments are. This is really crazy stuff. The EU offered X an illegal secret deal stating that if X quietly censored speech without informing the public, they would not fine X. So they said, if you censor yourself, if you actually don't make yourself free, if you censor all the users, we will stop fining you. And you know what Elon Musk said? He said a big F you. No way. I'm for freedom of speech. Elon Musk is a legend. He is going to go down in history as one of the biggest legends of all time. He's a hero to me. Elon Musk is a legend. August 2024, the EU attempted to stop Elon Musk from hosting a live space on X with President Donald Trump. And that was just before the elections, I believe. So they were trying to prevent Donald Trump from getting elected. The EU is tyrannical, guys. They are the worst entity in the entire world. Like I said before, they are corrupt from head to toe. They are disgusting. We should leave the EU. The first thing that I would do if I was in power in Ireland is I'd have an IRE exit. Ireland exit. Absolutely. January 2025, the EU stepped up its probe into Elon Musk's X days ahead of Trump's inauguration. Of course, December 2025, they fined X 120 million for violating the EU's content legislation rules under the Digital Services Act. Disgusting. I hope they lose money. I hope they go bankrupt. I hope the EU is completely disbanded and destroyed from the top down. So like I said, Elon Musk got fined by the EU as well himself. So not just X, the platform, they also fined him personally. I'm not sure what it was, like 20 million or whatever, but it says here the EU imposed a crazy fine not just on X, but also for me personally, which is more insane. Therefore, it would seem appropriate to apply a response not just to the EU, but to also the individuals who took this action against me. So I think he's going to push back heavily against this. This is going to be great, guys. I cannot wait for Elon Musk, Donald Trump to crush the EU, crush these left woke, disgusting people who are evil, destroying this world. The left are evil, guys. They are literally destroying the world as we speak. But I give him the ultimate praise because he denied this deal. The European Commission offered X an illegal secret deal. If they quietly censor freedom of speech, they will not find them anymore. The other platforms accepted the deal. All the other platforms accepted it. X didn't. That's why we love X, guys. X are absolute legends. Shout out to X big time and Elon Musk. It's not left versus right. It's tyrants versus the people. The people are winning. These tyrants are not going to win. We're going to fight back every single day. And here we have Elon Musk speaking yesterday, telling us what the litmus test is for freedoms. This is one of the best videos I've ever seen in my life. Let's watch.
Yes, I think as a general rule, you can tell which side is the good side and which side is the bad side by which side wishes to restrict freedom of speech.
Yes.
The side that is restricting freedom of speech, that would have been sort of the Hitler, Stalin, Mussolinis of the world. They had very strong censorship, very strong restrictions on speech.
Yep.
That's one of the signs that they are the bad guys. A restriction on speech and large government is fundamentally fascist, obviously. So ironically, in pushing for censorship, it makes it very clear that the left is the side that is against freedom, and freedom of speech is simply one of many freedoms that we should have as a civil society, because ideas should win on the strength of their arguments. They should not win because they are suppressed.
Perfectly well said. Perfectly well said. Ideas should win because of the strength of their arguments and how actually correct that their arguments are, okay? How powerful that the argument is, not on who gets suppressed and not. Like, the left can't win because their arguments are emotional and crazy and psychotic. The right are going to win. We are going to win this fight, guys. Let there be no doubt about it. There's no freedom of speech in Europe anymore. You go to jail in the UK, 12,000 people have been arrested for hate speech, for swearing. It's disgusting, guys. They have a tyrannical country. The left are now fascist. The left are big-time fascists, guys. They want to censor all freedom of speech. They want to censor everything that we know and love today in Ireland. In the Western world, we're only the Western world because of freedom of speech. Okay, if you don't want freedom of speech, go to North Korea, go to Cuba, go to these communist, Marxist hellholes, okay, where you get killed if you speak up against anything. We have to have a safe place to conduct our arguments freely and openly. When did defending free speech become the controversial position? This is now what it is. It's controversial to actually advocate and defend free speech. They don't ban hate speech. They ban the speech that they hate, that they cannot argue against. And if you guys think that this is not really close to home, well, look at this. This is in Ireland here from Michael O'Keefe. He says, today X have been fined about relation to blue ticks. But there's also another investigation ongoing into X launched by Jeremy Godfrey of the Irish Media Commission just last month. Okay? This guy here, you can see the guy with the googly eyes, commissioned them on investigation into X. We have a guy that looks like Big Bird. Okay, shout out to Ninja Knight. He looks like Big Bird, okay? And he's the guy that's investigating what the hell is happening in this country and censorship and freedom of speech in this country. He gets to dictate freedom of speech in Ireland. Well, I, for one, say that's disgusting. And I just want to throw this in at the end because some of my family are from Slovakia, but it says here, the EU declares war in Slovakia for defending family, biology, and national sovereignty. What just happened in Slovakia should have been celebrated as a victory for democracy. A constitutional majority, the highest expression of democratic will, voted to define family as a union between a mother and a father, affirmed that there are only two sexes, and declared the national culture and ethics belong to the nation, not Brussels. And how did the EU respond to this? Not with respect, not with debate, but with legal action. The EU Commission is now punishing Slovakia, not for corruption, not for authoritarianism, not for breaking EU treaties, but for affirming what most of its people believe, that identity, family, and biology, sex are not up for bureaucratic negotiation. When Germany enforces its definition of morality through censorship laws, no infringement letters are sent, But when a Slavic nation upholds traditional family structures, suddenly it's a crisis for democracy. No, the crisis is in Brussels. Because if a sovereign nation can no longer decide who can adopt children, what words mean mother and father, or how it defines a culture, the EU is no longer a union. It's an empire in disguise. Slovakia has drawn the red line. Every nation that believes in true self-government should pay attention. The message is clear from the EU. Agree with Brussels or be punished. Let's watch this guy here. His name is Milan Mazurek. Okay, he's actually Slovakian. This guy just tears apart the EU. Let's go.
Viete, čo je to demokracia? Keď si ľudia slobodne vo voľbách vyberú svojich zástupcov do Národnej rady, do parlamentu. V slovenskom parlamente sa ústavnou väčšinou prijala zmena ústavy, ktorá hovorí o tom, že sú len dve pohlavia a že v kultúrno-etických otázkach bude mať Slovenská republika zvrchovanosť a žiadni úradníci z Bruselu nám nebudú diktovať, ako má vyzerať naša rodina alebo akým spôsobom máme organizovať život vo svojom vlastnom štáte. Európska komisia začala voči Slovenskej republike konanie, pretože hovorí, že ide o porušovanie demokratických princípov. Čo je viac demokratické ako ústavnou väčšinou schválená zmena ústavy? Naviac, keď to isté, čo je napísané v našej ústave, je priamo zadefinované v európskych zmluvách. Toto je skutočná tvár Európskej komisie. Chcú trestať každého, kto má iný názor, každého, kto chráni vlastenecké a tradičné hodnoty. Stavajú sa proti každému, kto vybočuje z ich radikálnej, dúhovej, extrémistickej agendy.
Dziękuję bardzo, panie pośle.
Oh my god, that was legendary. You see what he said at the end right there, guys? He said, bro, this guy's a legend. He said, they want to punish anyone who holds a different opinion, anyone who protects patriotic or traditional values. They go after everybody who does not fall in line with their radical rainbow extremist agenda. Oh my god. Hey, much love to Milan Mazurek, okay? Much love. I go to Slovakia every year. Absolute legend, guys. Eastern Europe are the last based country, and I'm proud to be ethnically half Eastern European. Of course, I'm Irish, lads. I've lived in Ireland my whole life, but lads, Slovakia, I'll tell you something, guys. They are badass, guys. They are legends. Imagine to be fining people because you don't want to have your own country, man, woman, you know, that kind of thing, just regular traditional values. Imagine how disgusting it is. Imagine that they would say stuff like this, radical rainbow extremist agenda. That's what they're doing, guys. If you don't push this left-wing woke agenda, you go to jail. You get fined 120 million by the EU, by the radical lefties. It's disgusting. I love you all. If you want to support me, hit the join link underneath the video so I can help support you guys push back against the woke mainstream media. Hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all hopefully in the next video, man. Peace.